What's cooler than that?
Maybe you've heard of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. How would you pronounce that? Blanchard? 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 Somehow I have a feeling you didn't get that right. So the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Everybody's talking about this right now because she just got released from prison for murdering, essentially. Well, she was kind of like an accomplice to murder because her boyfriend killed the... Anyway, she was a fake handicapped person. You ever seen...
snap.
Yeah. But it was like her mom's fault, kind of. Her mom was like a psychopath who would use this child. When she was a really young child, her mom would kind of use her because she almost looked handicapped, right? She had like a weird, she would easily pass. I'll just say she could easily pass as a handicapped kid.
She had it down.
Yeah. Down with the sickness, bro. She had a look to her, right? And, but she just got released from prison. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this story, but here we'll give you a little, I guess, look at what happens when she gets out of jail, which is now, I guess.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard celebrating her release from prison with a party thrown by her father and stepmother. She's smiling in photos posted to Instagram by her stepsister. Gypsy Rose spent her first night at a hotel with her husband, Ryan Anderson. She posted a first selfie of freedom taken in the hotel room. So, what do we know about Ryan Anderson? He's 37 years old. He's a special ed teacher from Louisiana. He met Gypsy Rose through a prison pen pal program. They were married in 2022, but were not permitted conjugal visits. He says he and Gypsy Rose have planned their first real romantic night out. Gypsy's never been on a real date where you go and sit somewhere and eat and go to a movie or do whatever. Gypsy Rose and her previous boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, were convicted of murdering her mother, who pushed Gypsy Rose into a life of misery. Convincing everyone the girl suffered from leukemia and muscular dystrophy, even though she was perfectly healthy.
There was a lot of emotional abuse.
The notorious case has been an obsession among true crime fans. In a new 3-part Lifetime documentary, The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, is debuting next week. The cameras have been following Gypsy since her release.
We will be watching her as she embarks on her freedom and what choices she's going to make. There's a lot of support for her, and people are cheering her on to encourage her to have the best life that she deserves.
Da da da.
So her ex-boyfriend killed her mom.
Yes. This story has a lot of kind of twists and turns in it, and
so her mom was one of those people, though. There's like a name for it, right? Where like parents purposely keep their kids sick so they have to like take care of them.
Yeah, I
forget what it's called.
They turned it into like a tism thing, Yeah. It's weird that we have to label it as we can't just say her mom was a psychopath and she was a horrible person. You have to say, oh, she had this disease or she had this mental. But it's like her mom. If you look into this story, her mom was just a horrible human being and a terrible person, and she used her daughter for years, right? And that's where kind of everything gets conflicted for a lot of people when you're talking about this entire story. It gets conflicted because there's some people who are probably on the side of the daughter. There's some people who are on the side of the mom, and maybe some people on the side of the boyfriend. Because you can find sympathy in each and every single one of their stories, just a little bit.
But there was nothing wrong with the daughter. She was fine. That's what they said.
Nothing wrong. What did you find the word?
Yeah, I couldn't remember, but now I remember. Her mom probably had what's called the Munchausen syndrome by proxy, right?
100%, that's the word. Yeah. Yes. What is it? Munchausen syndrome?
Yeah, Munchausen syndrome by proxy is what it's called.
So weird, dude, that we just labeled it that.
I'll give you it's Munchausen syndrome by proxy is a mental illness and a form of child abuse. The caretaker of a child, most often a mother, either makes up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make it look like the child is sick.
Yes, that's exactly what her mom did, too. It was freaking wild for years, bro. I think it was, don't quote me on this, but I think it was the Make-A-Wish Foundation that they used that foundation to make them a house, like build them a house because they were going off of, you saw the daughter, right? You saw images of her. when she was younger, she looked a little, you know, I mean, look at her right here in this image. You can see she looks just a little
They're trying
not all the way there, right?
Her mom tried to say she had leukemia, right?
Yeah.
Is what they said.
Her mom said she had a number of different diseases from the time she was little up till, I think, God, please forgive me for not knowing, but I don't know. I think she was like 19 or something. I don't know. She was older when she started to figure all this out. But her mom had this woman right here. By the way, I just want to throw this in there. This woman won a beauty pageant back in her day.
Well, times are rough sometimes, man.
God damn.
She's probably a nice lady, though, maybe.
No, she wasn't, actually. She was a horrible person.
Yeah, I mean, for what she was doing. If that's what she was doing, yeah.
Yeah, and
unless she had doctors telling her there was something wrong with her daughter.
Well, here's the thing. She would go to doctors and specialists or whoever, and they would play it off so well that the doctors believed it and would like keep giving her like special needs, like whatever, medication, all this BS. So they were even tricking like doctors and, okay, it might not be doctors that they were tricking, all right? Because I've been reading our comments a little bit lately, dude. Sometimes people are hammering me. If I get one thing wrong, they're like, oh, you didn't get... So it might not have been doctors. I don't know what they were going to see. Specialists, right? And the specialists, they were tricking people into thinking she was handicapped. And she couldn't walk, which was the wildest part for me. How do you trick doctors or specialists, neurospecialists, into thinking you can't walk if you really can? Wouldn't you have like legs that were kind of shriveled up? This girl could walk just fine. There was actually literally nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
Once again, I say that because that's what I think, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with this girl at all. I don't think anything was ever wrong with her. She just she pulled it off well.
Yeah, people just like to pick apart the shows, man.
Yeah.
Just so people know, we're basing our opinions. So that's what it is, an opinion.
Yeah, they're just opinions, okay? They're not facts, right?
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Right. I'm giving you what I think and what I've heard and blah, blah, blah. If we're wrong, correct us in the comments, please. I appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, eventually, right, this girl goes and gets a boyfriend. Like, for a long time, she was trying to get boys and she was interested in boys, but her mom, this horrible person here, was like holding her back. And because I think her mom was using her as a paycheck, basically. And so eventually she got in contact with a young man. Oh, I hope they show his picture in this, but they might not. Either way, she got in contact with this dude. Her and him like went to the movie theaters and they were watching this Disney princess show. He was, first of all, he had Down syndrome. He had a touch of the down, I'll say.
Or her ex did?
Huh?
Her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, her ex-boyfriend, the one that killed her mom, right? He had a touch of it. This dude was hearing voices in his head. He had like multiple personalities kind of a thing going. So he had an evil side and he had a good side of himself. And his evil side said, I'll kill your mom for you. But there's also, she testified in court. What's her name again? Gypsy Rose testified in court saying that it was her idea to kill her mom. So there's all kinds of weirdness about this story, right? She said it was her idea to kill her mom, but then she knew she couldn't do it because she's squeamish about blood. That's what she told the detective. Like, I didn't think I could do it because I don't like blood. Blood makes me weird, right? So basically, she let her boyfriend in. She stole this knife from Walmart. She let her boyfriend in the house at night, and he murked the mom. Like, the mom was like screaming, like, he locked her in the bathroom, or she went in the bathroom, they closed the door. He went to the mom's room, like messed her up with the knife, killed her. And I think her head was like hanging off or some nonsense. So it was like a brutal attack. And then he came out, he brought her out and he like told her to strip naked. He's like, get naked and clean up your mom's blood on the floor. Like, this dude was a psychopath because it turned him on, he said. In like, it like turned him on to have her cleaning like naked and
he
cleaning
said
up
this.
the blood. I'm pretty positive it was him that said that. Yeah. It was either him or her that said that. But either way, dude, this story is wild. The kid, her boyfriend who killed her mom. First of all, the mom, I think, is a terrible person because she was using her daughter for years. She was giving her medication that was really messing her up, right? Mom's a terrible person. I don't agree with her being murdered at all, obviously.
She definitely should have probably been in prison or something.
She should have gone to prison for sure. She should not have been killed. The boyfriend is an absolute psychopath. He had a touch of the down.
So is he in regular prison?
I don't think he went to jail for life without the possibility of parole.
But is he in like a mental institute?
I don't think so. I think he's just in jail, bro, or prison.
Huh.
I don't know. That part I didn't look into. I don't know if he's in like a, I don't know. I feel like if he's got Down syndrome and he's got multiple personalities, he should be in some kind of freaking weird, like where they lock you up. What do you, mental asylum?
So how long was she in prison?
I think she went for 10 years.
Oh,
and she
okay.
just got out now. I think she might have got out a little early because if this all happened in 2015, which I believe it did.
Yeah. She got out early. Then it's supposed to be 10 years.
Because they did give her 10 years, but with the possibility of parole, I believe. So I think she got out a little early is what's happening because she's out now. And it's just kind of one of those things where we're just, the whole world, like I don't know. I feel a little disingenuous even talking about this story because we legitimately don't care. None of us care. If we're honest with ourselves, right? I mean, maybe murder people care. But this story, it's almost like everybody's just using it to get views and clicks and likes. And I feel a little guilty right now because I would have never really paid much attention to this story if someone hadn't brought it to my attention and told me it would be a good story for us to do on this show.
Oh, it is.
Right?
I mean, it's interesting for sure.
It is interesting. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting when you dig into it. But everybody, I think a lot of people are using this girl and this story everybody's using it for their own selfish purposes. Nobody's like reaching out to this girl and saying, hey, I'll pay for you to go get therapy. Like, like genuinely helping them. Everybody's just online trying to get the best video to put out, right? Which, I mean, that's the world we live in now. It's still a horrible story. It needs to be talked about so things like this don't happen. Maybe you can help if you see something. But it's just wild because she was able to trick people for how many years? Doctors, bro. Yeah. How do you trick a neural specialist into believing that you can't walk? I'd love to know that. How the hell, right? Your legs would atrophy. Is that the word? Your legs would shrink up. You can't use them. She could walk her whole life. So her legs could not have, but I think her mom was like starving her at certain points, like keeping her super
if they check the reflexes, if they're using drugs, they could have like numbed her up or something so they don't work properly.
Yeah, dude. I got a test. You bring the girl into my office. I'm going to pinch her leg. Yeah, if she goes, ow, I'm going to be like, hey, what the fuck is going on? I thought you were paralyzed from the waist down. Right? So how do you get away with this? Are doctors just that, or they just looked at her? Because like I said, she does have the look, right? You can, if I saw her.
She looks like she's been through some chemo, maybe.
Yeah, her mom shaved her head, I think. And I think that was also part of like the medication they were giving her. Just either way.
You ready for the hate comments now?
Yeah, hate. What are they?
Here, I got something. What this shows me, and I've noticed, to me personally, this is where we're going to get the hate comments.
God damn.
You're right. Hey.
No, please. I want to hear it.
When they talk about, it seems like women, this is true to me, what I've seen. Like, and I'm not saying there aren't women that get put away for life, but when like if a guy and a woman do the same crime, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of the time, women get a lesser punishment.
Right. And it's 100. That's true, dude.
They get out earlier. They just, they almost like feel bad for them more.
You know,
if a guy does it, they're like, throw him in prison. Don't ever let him out.
Right. For life.
That's it. Story written.
Damn. You know what's funny about that is I was gonna say that too. And I thought to myself, I was like, people are gonna call you, yeah, whatever. But
this is my opinion.
I'm happy you said it though, because there's a few things to consider there. Okay, there were text messages between him and Gypsy Rose, right, prior to all this, where they were really planning out this murder. He was like, "Is she a heavy sleeper? Is she?" He was asking her some questions where it's like, you can't blame this too much on your Down syndrome anymore. I didn't know what I was doing. I was confused. Like, you were planning, you'd put a lot of effort and time into planning this out, right? And he did, and then he went and murdered her, right? So I understand Gypsy Rose getting a lighter sentence than him. What I don't agree with is that how light of a sentence she got and compared to what he got. Yeah. He did get life without the possibility of parole.
Granted, he did the actual murder.
Granted, he did the murder, but she only gets 10 years with the possibility of parole. And she very likely had a massive part in convincing him to do this.
Yes.
This dude would have never just came and killed this girl's mom if he had never known her, right? So, and she admits that it was her idea to kill her mom. Yeah. So this guy has a little bit of Down syndrome. He thinks he's in love. They were both each other's firsts, right? They had just recently had sex before this all happened for the first time, right? He's kind of Down syndrome-y. He's with this girl. She admits in court that it was her idea to kill her mom. He went through with it. Of course, he should get punished and go to prison for a very long time for that. And he is, but she's out. So
Not
what you're
even
saying,
10 years.
Yeah, so what you're saying is true, right? Anybody wants to argue that, okay, but then here's the argument, right? That was what I was going to say earlier. Here's the argument. Her mom was a horrible, evil person that destroyed her life.
But doesn't mean you should murder her, right?
No, but
You're basically saying it's right to murder somebody then.
Right, but her mom was pretty much holding her captive and torturing her for all of her life. So it's like,
but she could never get away.
You can feel sympathy where it's, well, I don't know.
If she's normal and she could walk, like, right. There's the door. I'm not trying to be, right. You know, I get people play mind.
You're right.
There's stuff happens, but if you're, you know, people are going to hate me no matter what I say. So.
No, they shouldn't. We're just arguing this point.
Yeah.
Who cares? Don't read the comments on this video. Just don't. It's not worth it.
It's whatever.
We're not being rude.
People like to
We're not being evil. Right? Yeah. Neither one of us are approaching this hatefully. We're just giving our opinions. It's all weird.
Here's my comparison. Charles Manson never actually killed anybody. He had people kill for him. Right?
Yeah, and he went to jail. Didn't he die?
Yeah, he's died in prison, never got possibility of parole. The people and there was women that actually had possibility of parole that committed the murders.
Oh, shit.
Just saying.
It's true. It's true.
It's the same. I'm granted they're using drugs. It's not the exact same thing, but in comparison, it's almost comparable, as I'm saying.
Yeah. You know all the stuff Andrew Tate just went through recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were telling him that he was trafficking women and he was using their brains. He was using like powers over their minds, like to convince them and trick them into doing things they didn't want to do because he was so intelligent. He could convince them to like sell their bodies, sell pictures, right? And Andrew Tate went to jail for that, just for like, and he didn't actually do anything. I don't care what anybody says. Andrew really didn't do anything. He was a good businessman and he was kind of a pimp. Okay. But the girls went out and did the crimes or whatever they consider like, oh, we were selling ourselves and we didn't know we were being used in all this nonsense. But they all put all the blame on Andrew Tate, right? Human trafficking, all this nonsense they threw at him, right? So, yeah, the person who convinces someone else to do something, and we all look at it as, oh, they did something insane. Who convinced them to do that? That person, in a lot of other cases, that person's getting punished severely, we notice, in other situations. But she didn't, and I think she just got a pass just because of the fact that her mom was doing all this nonsense to her. I think that's why everybody took it so easy on her. And she's a girl.
I don't care. You're always convincing me to go kill somebody. I'm like, nah, I'm out, dog.
What if you're in love, Skis?
No, I'll be like, well, I'm out.
Have you ever been in love where you told yourself, I'll do anything for this woman? Anything. Damn.
Not anything.
Right. I don't think I would have ever killed
I would never
somebody.
expect someone to do anything for me.
Yeah, but love is such a powerful...
I guess.
Imagine if you have Down syndrome and this beautiful girl's talking to you.
You can find love again.
Yeah, but you don't know that if you're a virgin. You think this is it, baby. This is it, son. And I'm mentally off.
She found a man, didn't she? Even after what she did.
She found another dude, and that dude looks just as crazy as the first one she found. He might be a nice guy. Disclaimer.
I mean, he looks like he's probably like a good guy.
He looks like he needs to hit the gym. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with everybody. He looks like he needs to go and do some workouts. If you say, Jerry, you need to work out too, I know. I'm working on it.
Everybody does.
So what do you think about this? What do you think about this Gypsy Rose? Anything else you want to say about that?
No, I think she got a light sentence, basically for what happened.
I agree. She had a light sentence.
Did they try to run after they did it, or did they just confess right away?
They went on the run.
Okay, so see, now you're trying to cover up something, so it's not like you like cared about what you did either, basically.
Right. And then she did try to play the victim at the end, you know. I think she told a story saying that her boyfriend abused her right after, like forced himself on her, stuff like that, which he denies. And it's just like she played the huge victim at the end of it all, which she kind of was and she kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
It's a stupid story, man.
Yeah, I guess you never know because you're not in their shoes, right? I guess. We don't know personally, but from the outside looking in, it looks bad either way.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, she should be in prison for another 10 years. My personal opinion. The mother also, god dang, man. The mother was a horrible person.
There was a dad too?
Yeah, there was a dad, but he was remarried to someone else and he was somewhere else.
Okay.
And so this was all happening kind of outside of his view.
Shit's wild.
It's wild, man. Yeah, crazy story.
With that?
What do you guys think? Did she get off easy? Did they give her justice? Is the boyfriend, did he get justice? What do you think about this story? Let us know. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, whatever. We got videos. They're floating. They're here. You'll see them. Subscribe to BTG Squad. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
What's cooler than that?
Well, keep it simple, stupid.